Well, I've always kind of stumbled under verse 3. It says, about this clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. I guess it's certain words like dazzling white that just associate in my head with commercial hype, like dazzling white teeth or dazzling white clothes. I don't know. But this is not a tie dad. Good! Some of you watched the Super Bowl and the commercials last Sunday. I didn't, but at Bible study this past week I discovered I missed a good one. So I looked it up online, and it was for Tide detergent, laundry detergent. But the ad appeared to be advertising everything else except Tide. There was something about this Tide ad alongside of the Bible readings this week from 2 Corinthians and Mark 9 that got me thinking about how and when we see God present in our world. Remember, we just heard in 2 Corinthians that the gospel can be veiled, hidden. And things in the world can blind us from seeing the light of the gospel and the glory of Christ. In that Bible passage, we heard it was the god of this world, false gods, who is blamed. But this happens whenever we let greed or obsession about appearances or our own self-interest cloud the vision as to the needs of others, and more importantly, to what God's sacrificial love is all about. And in Mark 9, it was the fear and the amazement at this sight that was so unexpected that clouds the big picture for who Jesus is for Peter, James, and John. They have no clue what to say. But Peter figures out it must be good, and they need to stay and memorialize the event and just sit there and figure it all out, because it is still Jesus after all. But what just happened? Well, they got to see Moses and Elijah and Jesus' divinity. They were actually seeing the glory of God in Jesus. They were seeing that Jesus was indeed the beloved Son of God, meaning truly God. They even get to hear God's voice. But here, God's voice is a wake-up call. They're to listen to Jesus. Really listen and hear what Jesus is saying. Really observe who Jesus is for them. So far, in the Gospel according to Mark, Jesus' disciples had already seen and heard Jesus heal many, preach with all kinds of parables, call outsiders like Matthew, the tax collector, to join them, confront the Pharisees and their teachings, calm a storm, feed 5,000, walk on water, and most recently, Peter had just figured out that Jesus is the Messiah. But the transfiguration was like the big picture all at once. Jesus is God. Come to them. Well, the story of Jesus' transfiguration gives us a chance to think about how we really see Jesus. Who is Jesus in your mind? You might even think of the stained glass windows upstairs, right? Like Jesus, the good shepherd with the sheep who leads you. The one who praying, Jesus in the garden, who prays for you and dies for you. The one who saves you. Like he's pulling Peter out of the water after Peter tries to walk on the water to pulls you up. Or maybe Jesus is a friend who walks with you, or a teacher who inspires you. Well, Jesus is all this and so much more. Jesus is the glory of God. The big reveal of the transfiguration is that Jesus is God. God come to us. God come down for us. You see, the transfiguration passes by quickly, and they get to go down the mountain right away. And when they come down, they're going into a valley, right? And they get down there, you read on, they find the other disciples struggling to heal someone. And the teachings just get harder and harder. 2 more times Jesus tells them he's going to suffer, he's going to die, and in 3 days rise. When they come down the mountain, they're headed to the valley of death. Literally, they're headed to Jerusalem. Yes, the transfiguration reveals the glory of God in Jesus, but it also leads them and us to see that in Jesus, God has come down for us and our salvation, to be with us for all our ups and downs in life. For if you look at the whole big picture up on top of the mountain with Peter, James, and John, we can look back and see how God made God's presence known through Moses and the prophets like Elijah. We can look back and see what Jesus has taught, how he healed many and accepts those who others reject, and shares the miracles of God's love and mercy. On the mountaintop, also God prepares us for what's ahead, right? Our Lenten journey that begins this week. Remembering that it's all about Jesus' journey to Jerusalem, his suffering, his death, and remembering even farther into the future and looking to Easter and the joy of the resurrection. On the mountaintop, it's revealed that it is God who suffers for us, with us, and alongside of us, and who is with us in all that we do and experience. Which brings me back to the Super Bowl Tide commercial, which I plan to show you right now, but I can't. So, I'm going to explain it to you for those who didn't see it, or to remember if you did see it. So, there's this luxury car driving down this beautiful scenery out in the country at sunset. There's this man in a suit, and he's driving along. He's like, just your just another typical Super Bowl ad, right? And then it switches to a fun-loving beer commercial, and it says, or another hysterical beer ad. And then it switches to some kind of funky abstract ad, everything in white, and you don't know what you're looking at. You know, you've seen super ads like that in the past. And he's like, whatever this is. And then it switched to 2 farmers sitting on the fence, and the spokesperson says, but it's a Tide ad. And then there's another stereotypical ad of car insurance, at which point another actor asks, how do you know it's a Tide ad? And the spokesperson says, there are no stains. The clothes are clean. And then it goes through a whole series of ads. He goes, well, how it's not for diamonds, and there's this beautiful woman in a diamond necklace, and then the spokesperson, nope, Tide ad. And then it flips through a pop commercial and a high-end mattress commercial, nope, Tide ad. Shaving commercial, nope, Tide ad. Muscle building products, nope, Tide ad. Alexa, nope, Tide ad. Each time he interrupts and says, no, it's a Tide ad, and there's someone in clothes or looking at their clothes. And at the end, he's sitting on a couch with his family all around, finishing folding clothes, putting it back, and asks, if every Super Bowl ad is a Tide ad? And he says, I think it does. Watch and see. So the point of the ad is no matter what it seems like in the world, all these different types of things, it's all about Tide. What about our own lives? What do we see in all the ups and downs, the exciting, the silly times, the boring times, the times when we say, I'm tired? Do we notice that God is truly present? Do we notice that all that we believe and that we hear and know, that Jesus is present? Yeah. Just a typical day at work, school, home, right? Or a hilarious time with your friends, or whatever stuff happens in life, whatever. But Jesus is always there. What? Jesus is there? What makes you so sure Jesus is there? There are no stains, no sin, look at the peace and love. At first glance, we see what we want to see. Everyday stuff, problems, but it's Jesus. Jesus is there, through you, through others, through someone else, through your prayers, through the Holy Spirit. It's all about opening our eyes and seeing. It's a tie dad! No, just kidding. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. It's not a tie dad. It's all about Jesus coming down to be with you, each of you. In Jesus, God came down for our salvation, to be with us always. And so as we head down the mountain, and with Jesus, to begin our Lenten journey in Holy Week, I challenge you to look for Jesus present with you always. Remember, Jesus can be found at church, at home, at school, in sad times, in joyful times, maybe even in a commercial. When you do not know what to do next, and where you least expect Him, Jesus is there. It's Jesus. Amen.